Thor. Have you ever heard of the Battle of Ito Castle? It's one of the strangest, most unbelievable stories from the final days of World War II in Europe. Imagine this: American soldiers, German Wehrmacht soldiers, French VIP prisoners, and an Austrian resistance fighter, all teaming up to fight against the Waffen-SS. Sounds like a Hollywood movie, right? But this actually happened. The story unfolds on May 5, 1945. Just 5 days after Hitler's death and 2 days before Germany's unconditional surrender. The war was essentially over, but pockets of fanatical SS troops were still fighting. Ito Castle, a medieval fortress perched on a hill in Austria, had been converted by the Nazis into a prison for high-profile French figures. We're talking former prime ministers, top generals, a tennis star, and even Charles de Gaulle's sister. As the Third Reich crumbled, the prison's commandant and guards abandoned their posts, leaving the prisoners in a precarious situation. They were free, but surrounded by hostile SS forces who would likely execute them on sight. They needed help, and fast. One of the prisoners' cooks, a Yugoslav handyman named Zvonimir Kovic, bravely left the castle on a bicycle to seek Allied help. He carried a letter written by the prisoners explaining their dire situation. After a long and dangerous journey, he managed to find Major Joseph Gangl, a German Wehrmacht officer who had switched sides and joined the Austrian resistance. Gangl was a good man caught in a terrible war. So, he made the risky decision to approach the American lines waving a white flag, hoping they wouldn't shoot him on sight. This is where Captain Jack Lee Jr. enters the picture. When Gangl approached him, explaining the situation at Ito Castle, Lee didn't hesitate. He got permission from his headquarters to lead a rescue mission. A decision that would lead him into one of the most bizarre battles of the war. Lee's rescue force was small. He took his own tank, nicknamed Besottin Jenny, and was joined by a handful of American infantrymen. Along the way, they picked up Major Gangl and about 10 of his German soldiers who were willing to fight against their former comrades. When they arrived, they found the French prisoners anxiously waiting. The castle's defenses were weak, and the combined force was tiny, just a couple dozen soldiers. One tank, and the French prisoners, some of whom were old and not exactly combat-ready, but they were determined to hold the castle against the impending SS attack. They quickly set up their defenses. The American and German soldiers took up positions along the castle walls, preparing for the fight of their lives. The French prisoners, including the former Prime Minister Paul Reynaud and General Maurice Gamelin, also pitched in, grabbing whatever weapons they could find. The tennis star, Jean Baratra, even offered a vault over the castle wall to run for reinforcements if needed. The night was tense. They knew the SS were coming. As dawn broke, the attack began. The 17th SS Panzer Grenadier Division, a battle-hardened and fanatical unit, launched a full-scale assault on the castle. Mortar shells rained down. SS soldiers tried to storm the gates. Inside the castle, the unlikely Allies fought back with everything they had. Who, just days before, had been mortal enemies, were now fighting side by side, covering each other's backs. They were vastly outnumbered and outgunned. The fighting was fierce and desperate. Early in the battle, a devastating blow came when an SS 88mm anti-tank gun destroyed Lee's Sherman tank, their most powerful weapon. The defenders were running low on ammunition, and the SS were pressing their attack, determined to breach the castle walls. Amidst the chaos, Major Gangl, The German officer who had initiated the rescue showed incredible bravery. He was constantly moving along the battlements, encouraging his men and directing fire. Tragically, while trying to move former Prime Minister Reynaud out of harm's way, Gangl was struck by a sniper's bullet and killed instantly. He died a hero, fighting to protect the very people his country had imprisoned. Just as it seemed the defenders were about to be overrun, hope arrived. Jean Bertrand made good on his promise. He had vaulted the castle wall, dodged SS patrols, and managed to run to the nearby town to guide a larger American relief force to their location. As the SS prepared for their final push, the rumble of American tanks was heard in the distance. The 142nd Infantry Regiment had arrived. Sight of reinforcements broke the will of the SS attackers, who quickly retreated. The battle was over. The castle was saved, and so were the French prisoners. It's a powerful story of shared humanity triumphing over ideology, even in the darkest of times. Captain Jack Lee was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for his heroism. Major Joseph Gangl is honored in Austria as a national hero. It's a reminder that even in war, lines can be blurred, and enemies can become allies for a common good. A small group of soldiers from opposing sides, united by a desire to do the right thing, held a medieval castle against overwhelming odds and saved lives. It's a story that proves that courage and honor are defined by the uniform you wear. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as incredible as I did, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more amazing tailies from history. See you next time.